Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order, EDA, Tuesday, January 18th, 2022. Call to order and roll call. We have all the members here for the meeting, all council. We have Betty for city administrator, secretary. So we're going to move into the approval of the minutes. EDA meeting minutes of October 18th. Need a board action on that. Motion for that.
I would move.
Okay, motion by Harley. Need a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second. Any discussion on minutes for October 18th? There is none, so we'll put it to the board action vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, motion passed. Second one, B, EDA meeting minutes of special meeting December 6th. Need board action for that. Need a motion.
So moved.
Harley made the motion, and then we got Leon made the second. Any discussion? There is none, so put it to the vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Moving along, so it passed. Moving along, we'll go to C, EDA meeting minutes of special meeting December 20th, 2021. We need board action, like a motion.
So move.
Okay, Leon made the motion. Second?
Second.
Second by Walt. Any discussion on those minutes? There is none, so we'll put it to a board action vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Aye.
Okay, anybody in the audience? Doesn't look like it, unless Ted Broca wants to bring up anything, but there is none, so we'll move on from there to accounts payable, financial reports. Betty?
Thank you. In your packet, you have a report from that lists Bolton and Mink for planning services for the agreement that you approved for them. And this is just a small bill as they are just getting started on that planning agreement with us. And so the total is $471.
I would move to pay the $471 to Bolton Bank.
Okay, we have a motion to make accounts payable as presented. Need a second?
Second.
Second with Joe Kraus. Any discussion? There is none, so we'll put it to the vote of the board. Aye.
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 Okay, motion passed. We're at B. None. 2021 unaudited financial reports will be prepared after payables are posted late January 2022. Betty, can you give us a
Little detail on that. Yep.
Yeah.
The second council run that we do, and this time is some of our payables are posted to 2021. Some of them are posted in 2022. Depends upon the date of the invoice. And this is the last council run that we do that. Everything else will be posted in 2022. Therefore, we don't, all the stuff that was approved in this payable that was approved today is not within the system yet, because it's not processed till tomorrow morning. Therefore, you would not have current accurate numbers. So even though they're year-end unaudited numbers, everything is not in there yet. So you'll have that the next meeting.
okay? So we don't need to take any action.
No, not at this time.
All right. Okay, moving along, we got reports. Is there any reports? And all I got then is to move along to election of officers where we need board action. We'll start off with the president. We got to open up for nominations. So we have anybody nominating anybody for president of EDA.
Nominate Mike Holden.
Second.
Okay,
So close together.
we got to call it 3 times.
Mhm.
Say, Okay, so, nominated by Harley
No,
Oh,
nominated.
or Walt, I mean,
Seconded by,
seconded by Joe. Okay. So any more nominations? Third time, any more nominations for president? Okay. Final vote?
Aye.
Aye. I'll abstain.
Aye. Aye.
Okay. Okay, so vote comes to 4-0. So Holden is the president again for IFEDA. Vice president, we need a nomination for a vice president.
Nominate Mayor Droba.
Okay,
Second.
seconded by Walt. Any more nominations for vice president? Any more nominations for vice president? Okay, we'll put it to the vote.
Point of order. Does he accept?
yes.
Okay,
It's up by now. Well, still have to. It's formality.
okay, so I'll put it to vote.
Aye.
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 Okay, Harley Droba is vice president. Treasurer. Open nominations up for treasurer of IFEDA.
Can I ask a question real quick? Who is the treasurer right now? And is that a member of this board or do we utilize Brad?
It's Brad.
I just
The
want,
treasurer is currently Leon,
okay,
and the treasurer has to be a member of this board.
okay.
Right. And but the assistant treasurer is Brad.
I have to look at, I thought I had that in your packet. I believe so. but
I would make
thought
a
I put
motion
that
for
in
Counselor
here.
Deach or Commissioner Deach to be treasurer.
Okay, we have a motion by Harley for Leon to be treasurer,
Second.
seconded by Joe Kraus. Any more nominations for treasurer? Any more nominations for treasurer? Third time. No other nominations, so we'll put it to the vote.
Aye.
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 Okay, Leon Deach is treasurer of IFEDA. Assistant treasurer.
I would make a motion to have Brad Edisted as the assistant treasurer.
Okay, we have a nomination for Brad Edisted to be assistant treasurer.
Second.
We have a second by Walt Bowler for Brad Edisted. Any discussion? I mean, no. Any more nominations for assistant treasurer? That's the second time. Any more nominations for assistant treasurer? And that's the third time. And we'll put it to board vote to make it official.
Aye.
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 Okay. Brad Edisted is the assistant treasurer. The last one, secretary.
I would make the motion to have Administrator Bergstrom as the secretary of the International Policy EDA.
Okay, we have a nomination by Harley for the city administrator, Betty Bergstrom, to be secretary of IFEDA. Any more? We need a second. We need a first.
Second.
A second, okay. Walt had the second. And then any more nominations for secretary? That's the second call. Any more nominations for secretary? There's none. That was the third call. So we'll do board action on a vote to make it official.
Aye.
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 Aye. Sorry, I missed my mark.
Motion passed. Okay, moving along to number 7. Betty Bergstrom, anyway, getting back to the secretary will be Betty Bergstrom. Moving on to 7, director's secretary's report. I don't have any report. Betty, do you have anything you want to?
Nothing additional at this time for this
Okay.
evening.
All right. Other business, number 8. Fee proposal to provide construction management CM services for the Voyagers National Headquarters, water mitigation, Sanderson. You want to handle that one, Betty?
Actually, I'm going to defer to Director of Public Works, Brokaw, who's in the room with us.
Okay.
He's been working with Sanderson and on the VNP building. I do have a little background to it, but I think I will let Ted take the lead on this one.
Okay.
So Voyagers National Park, we have looked at a lot of different ways to deal with the moisture issue out there. Water mitigation is an understatement in the fact that when the project was originally designed, it had drain tile all the way around the building. And due to budget cuts, they cut that part of it out. And the problem we're having is the concrete is heaving up all over
You're talking sidewalks.
sidewalks. And what happened was they dug pits in the ground.
Mhm.
And the pits in the ground, we dig a hole, where's the water going to go? The problem is we can't get the water away fast enough. You can
Right.
pump them every day.
Yeah.
Now there's one pit that when the water actually gets to the bottom of the lid, it's full. We actually get water in the middle of the hallway. And we always thought it was somebody who just got done mopping. And the problem is it gets within that. We need to do something to save the building. We've done some things over at the maintenance facility. The first few years we did it, the sidewalk actually heaved up and pushed on the siding.
Yeah.
So one of the pits, we actually dug a trench across the parking lot. We've got a pump that constantly pumps it. I'm not so worried about the maintenance building right now, but we need to do something with the admin building. It could be up to $500,000. It's too big. Sanderson built the building. They're familiar with the project. I would like to work with them and with the design people to come up with a project that'll work. We're looking at rain gutters, we're looking at drain tile, but with that, you've got concrete right now that needs to be replaced. There's serious tripping hazards. We've had companies come in and grind it. Now we're at spray paint. We're spray painting the cracks, and it's a mess.
Plus the outlet pedestals that are tipped.
Yep, we ended up replacing all the pedestals that are in the front of the building. We actually did sonotubes down. That took care of that. On the backside, we haven't done. They're all leaning.
Yeah.
It's too close to the river. We need to do something. If you drive out there, you'll see the privacy fence for the employee parking lot. That's heaved up.
Ted, do you know what the cost was? Why they didn't do that? What the heck?
That was before. I was not involved with it that early. I came in after the building was built towards the end.
Mhm.
Before they started putting in the ceiling so I could see the controls and whatnot. It was my understanding that it was a budget cut because it was over. The code didn't require it in 2010 and 11, but the update in 2012 would have required it. We've got all these pits around there. Bill can't keep up. And it's something that needs to be on a constant progression. Financially, we are sitting very good on the maintenance money to pay for this project. Okay. One thing I noticed early on in that building was GSA was very good about putting money away for siding, shingles, parking lots, paint, carpet, because GSA requires those to be done at a certain time. The one thing we've been very fortunate at is every couple of years we'll go in and we'll patch and we'll paint. So we've actually taken care of the walls. So it's It's one of them things where the paint is at 5 years and the carpet's at 7 or vice versa. I can't remember, but doesn't mean you have to replace it at 5 years. And there's money in our lease that automatically goes into that account every year. But if GSA notices something and it's not your responsibility to fix, when you say, no, if you want that done, you have to pay for it. Right away, they'll go to the carpet and the paint. And they'll say, okay, we'll pay for that, but now I want the carpet done right now, or I want the paint. The one thing that I found is, as long as you keep them happy, you're okay. We're at year 10 right now. We haven't done carpet and paint. We're going to have to, but there's money in the US bank account for that. A project like we're doing right now, or the mechanical stuff. There's no money in savings to replace a boiler or to replace an air handler. So we've kept our costs down on our annual maintenance money. So we have money in the bank there to pay for this. But I'm seeing at year 10, well, year 9 and 10, that these mechanical things are starting to fail. We battle your museum archive, which enthalpy control is very vital in there. You have to maintain 45% humidity with 2.5 degrees, 2.5% drifts. There can't be spikes. They've got a hydrothermograph in there that you watch the needle going around. To maintain 45% humidity right now, this time of year, is very difficult. So you walk from the regular part of the building into the museum archive, it actually feels like you're walking into a rainforest. But maintaining 45% humidity is what it takes to maintain those artifacts that are in there. Same thing in the summer. To bring that humidity down and maintain it is very difficult. So originally, when they put that system in, when it comes to humidifying, the system that was in there was 8 pounds per hour it would put of humidity. By the time we figured it out, we've got a unit in there now that puts 40 pounds of humidity in there every hour. And that maintains. But as soon as that piece of equipment hits a hiccup, you can notice right now, it's right on the edge. So I've noticed components like that, they're not long for life. I don't want to do this. It's not a bells and whistles. It's something we need to do to be able to maintain this facility, get to the end of our 20-year lease, to get another 20-year lease. I was kind of hoping that in our maintenance fund, we'd have $1 million sitting in there on the end of 20. And I'm learning that we're not. But we're not going in the hole either. We've got money in there. Betty and I were very staunch supporters of, as soon as the city council early on seen that we had $100,000 left at the end of the year in maintenance money, or $150,000, they wanted to spend it. And we were very adamant, leave that there. Okay, so at the end of our 20-year lease, the idea that we're not going to have to put money into that building, GSA is going to come with a laundry list. So hopefully we're going to have money in the bank to cover that, but it's not going to be the $12 to $13 million like it was at the original time. I think it's a very lucrative money-making situation, but we need to take care of the building. And with the help of Kraus Sanderson, they're going to help me with the steps, the doors, and Voyagers National Park. But with the EDA owning Voyagers National Park, Betty and I agreed that we didn't think it was something to bring to the city council. It's this commission that decides whether we move ahead with it or not. So, and the prices that you have in there, I did ask for clarification because I thought, the $700,000 price tag is the steps and the doors included in that, but he did make it quite clear it's very high. I personally don't think we should try and tackle the maintenance building in 2022. I think we should look at tackling the admin building and then go from there, just to kind of get a feel on how that's going to work out.
Well, it definitely needs to get fixed. I mean, if you don't, you won't get the extension the next time around. I mean, if there's a lot of problems, you might have a hard time getting it, depending on how bad it is.
Well, there's no point in replacing the concrete now. If there's concrete problems, when you got the problem underneath, there's.
Well, you gotta fix it. You gotta fix
the
that.
drainage problem,
Yeah.
no sense fixing the concrete.
Right.
And,
We gotta do it.
and I can say this year was the first year that I haven't replaced concrete out there in 10 years. We're always replacing something.
Yeah.
We've always done something.
There's like the driest summer that anybody.
But the sidewalks were still heaved. So basically I worked it out with the maintenance, the facility director out there as we put paint because I told him that, you know, and Bob DeGrosse reached out to me and he made quite clear that he is very, very appreciative of the plan I laid out that I want to do there this year to take care of it. So working with them, some of the employees are a little tough to deal with. But dealing with the director of the park and the maintenance facility, we have a very good relationship. But we are very proactive on taking care of them.
So you would suggest we do the building and the steps?
Yes, as part of, so now next month I'm gonna come, yep. And it all depends, you know, I did put money in general government building some more to carry over. The one thing I like about Kraus Anderson is in talking to the contractors that looked at the steps, they felt that it was somewhat overkill. So they're going to work with the design team, Kraus Anderson. That's why I wanted to bring somebody into Kraus Anderson. This is what they do, you know, and they're going to be able to say, you know, it's overkill. We used the existing footings before on these steps. You know, the last design wanted new footings. And Kraus Anderson looked at them right away and said we shouldn't have to replace the footings. So I'm hoping to be able to get that price of the steps down to where it's manageable. But I need somebody like Kraus Anderson to help me out with that.
Okay. Is there anything action we need to do tonight to?
Yeah, because we need to sign the agreement with Kraus Anderson to bring them on board.
Okay.
I'd make a motion that they do the admin building and the steps and leave the maintenance building till we get this done. And then if something is available yet, we can do something else then. Or leave it go next year, but that admin building needs to get done.
And their numbers included the maintenance facility, but there really isn't. It's when we put that sump pump in there permanently on the north side, that took care of all of our problems, which are the main areas. There's some blacktop stuff where the sidewalk is heaved that I think we could do something with patching to take care of that. But the admin building's a safety hazard.
So we have a motion by Walt Bowler for to move ahead with Kraus Anderson on fixing the admin building. We need a second.
And the steps.
And the steps.
The steps will come to the Public Works meeting next month.
Yeah,
because it's
the steps is a city building, not an EDA.
Yep.
Okay. But this, that was in here though, wasn't it? Steps?
Yeah.
right. Yep. That's why I say the price looks so
I
high.
thought it was in there.
Right.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
We need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, Joe Kraus seconded it. Any discussion? Yes.
I just want to verify, so this is just to move forward with the admin building, and the NPS building, correct?
The maintenance facility we'll hold off on.
Okay, so it's just the
It's the
admin.
admin.
It's the
Okay,
admin.
just wanted to make sure that.
To be honest with you, the $700,000 price tag makes me nervous. So I only want to bite off what, you know, we've got the admin building, we've got the maintenance facility, we've got the heated garage, and we've got the cold storage. So,
And I understand that. I just wanted to be clear that that's what we're voting on, is just the admin building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any more discussion? Okay, we'll put it to vote.
Aye.
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 Motion passed. 5-0. All right, next.
I just a quick.
Yes, Joe Kraus.
So Betty, with the savings, with the savings, with the refinancing of the bond, if you potentially needed more money for the project, there's potentially more money. I realize that it would take money away from the EDA, but we do have potentially more money out there if we need. I mean, obviously the building is the priority because the building is the horse, right? The building is what creates the money. So obviously if we needed to defer, when we refinanced the bond, it created more money for the EDA. But ultimately, that building is what makes the money that makes this possible.
Right.
So obviously, if we had to defer more money from the EDA to the building to keep the building going, we may have more funds in the coffers that we could throw at that project if we had to. I'm not wrong in assuming that, correct?
Right, that's correct. But I think with the from the monies we have at the US Bank that have been put away over the
Right.
years for this type of maintenance, along with some of in the reserves that we have been diligent on a year-to-year basis.
So I'm going to rephrase
Mhm.
that. Do we need to adjust the amount that we are putting away for maintenance? Because I mean, we adjusted the amount. We are making, or we are saving more, or we are collecting more. You noted that the building is getting older and that the maintenance is creeping. Do we need to adjust the amount of money that we're putting away for maintenance to get ahead of this? Or are you still confident that the amount of money that we put away X amount of years ago when we did this is going to be enough in the yearly basis?
Technically, it's really not money we've put away. What is it, $251,000 a year that the city gets paid for the operational maintenance.
Right.
Okay, we've never spent that full amount.
Sure.
So I'm saying we're gonna go back, what we're gonna do is we're gonna spend that account down.
Okay.
Before we involve US Bank. Or we involve that. That is my goal. That's why I don't want to say, okay, I recommend we do the whole property.
Right.
Take off a little bite. If I thought we were putting as much maintenance money away every year, I would say, yeah, but we're not. That's why I'm saying as it's getting older.
Right. I just wanted to make
Yep.
sure that we didn't need to
Yep.
perhaps augment that maintenance money with, because we did have a substantial savings by refinancing that bond. I didn't know if we needed to perhaps take a little bit of that and put it toward it.
No,
to-
I'm-
Not right
Okay.
now.
All right.
As of right
I was just
now-
looking for
Yep.
clarification.
yep. And
Because,
it's the monies that that are paid directly to the city that sit in that account for the maintenance and operation.
Right.
That's why I say, out of that
that's why we don't
maintenance,
touch it.
right, and that maintenance and operation money though, if we lose a boiler,
Right.
has got to come out of there, or we need to go someplace else to get it. So,
Right.
and it actually took a couple of years for me to figure out that I'm a maintenance guy, right? Putting money away for carpet and paint makes no sense to me. It's what heats the building and what cools the building is the most important part. And GSA never looks at that. They don't care. And what I've found is you have builders that build a government building and they lease it to GSA. They don't do any maintenance for 5 years and they bank on putting all that maintenance money in their pocket. And then at 5 years, they sell it to another company that does long-term. Okay. What they do is they come back, they bring the building up, and then they do maintenance contracts on everything. Well, we've been doing maintenance contracts on everything from day one. Right? So we're good there. Year 15 to 20, I don't know.
I just want to make sure the cash cow is healthy.
It should be. And if it's not, you guys will be the first ones I come back to talk to.
Thank you.
Because you're always filled with good information and fun, happy.
I'm
You always have
depressing.
good
I
news,
know.
Ted.
I know. I'm
Good
depressing.
news. Thank you.
You summed it up when you told me there was no drain tile there. I couldn't figure out why. Them sidewalks and those outlet boxes were tipping over and
Hmm.
stuff. Well, now I know.
Yep. It's
Interesting.
the first time that all of them were pumped out, we did it with a hydrant pump and it took 4 tanks of gas, 9 hours of pumping, and I still wasn't done. Right? So they're 12, 14 feet in the ground. They're perforated. As soon as you get to a certain level, the water's pouring in there as fast, and it never catches up.
Believe it
So-
or not, the groundwater level is the high water mark of the river. So
Right.
Anybody that knows anything about hydrology knows that that's your groundwater mark. So that's where your water level is.
Okay, thank you. So are you with the housing planning update, or is that something from Betty, or that's Betty's, eh? I want to, somebody's got to let
I
me
was
know
kinda
about
hoping
it.
we'd
I
skip
need
it
an
out.
update anyway, so.
Well, Ted and I have met with a couple individuals, and I'm drawing blanks on names right now. Jane is one of them. We have started on the planning of this housing study. We have met with them twice. We brought Kelly Myers, the building official, in the third time. And they're starting to go through the process, understanding, looking at our comp plan, looking at the housing study that's out there. And then they're going to be reaching out and talking to the other stakeholders. I know they've reached out to Itasca or Isaac Meyer from Itasca, and he's been working with the coalition of housing, the Cooch County Housing Coalition, pulling in those stakeholders, understanding what, going over the map. Ted and I and Kelly, kind of reviewed the city map with them and looked at areas and outlined and help them understand our structure, our city layout, our smaller lot sizes within the center city area, outer city, just explaining and helping them get started on this process. So they're definitely moving forward. You can see on the last page of this document, you have a timeline that they are, hoping to have back to us here by the end of February. And anything else?
And just some of the other stakeholders are to deal with. They're reaching out to the bigger businesses, the ones that are having the issues, the PCAs, yes, the hospital, green tech. Yeah, that's just the ones we knew of.
We're looking for 3 clinicians, and we can't hire anybody because nobody can find a place to live.
And that's exactly what we talked about.
So basically, they're covering the whole gamut of low income housing, all the way up to professional homes. So I think they're doing a fabulous job. I'm very impressed. So
I like their time frame in there. It's not 6 months from now.
Oh,
actually,
sure.
we commented on.
Yeah, we have a housing committee meeting next Monday,
Mhm.
and Bacchus Grant, I haven't talked to Isaac today, but they'll know today.
Will they?
actually. So we
Okay.
should know, we'll know whether or not Bacchus got funded.
Okay.
So we'll know that at the meeting, whether or not whether the AB project got funded, we'll know. Yeah. But we'll know on Monday whether or not AB got funded.
Okay. So, and I know that they are in touch with him as well. So it's moving along, and they've got a great team on it. So we'll be bringing that forward as it comes along.
Okay, thank you, Betty and Ted. Next, discuss hunting on the multimodal site. I take it's deer hunting. So what do we need to discuss here? I pretty much what I got out of tonight at the regular meeting was, after, I'm visiting, we had the conservation officer here, and then we had talked about it. I don't think we're interested in getting into hunting deer, but
And the issue we
unless
deal
you got
with,
something,
the issue we deal with every fall is Darren contacts me or Betty and says, there's people hunting on the multimodal.
okay,
Okay, the problem with the multimodal is part of it's in the city, part of it's not, but the EDA owns it. So basically, I'm putting plans together to post the city-owned side of it, or the city limit side of it. I'm wondering if this commission wants to post all of it, because part of it's not in the city.
Did we annex it?
can we legally do that? If we
Yeah,
You're
don't,
the owner of the property.
I know part of it's our property.
All of
No,
it's our
all of it is
Oh, all
your,
of it is?
all of it is
Okay.
your property.
Okay,
So we got 76 acres
yeah,
in the multimodal site sitting there, and they're hunting on that, which is wide stinking open. It's on the
Oh,
right
then you
side
better-
of 332, just north of the railroad.
Then you
tracks.
better,
76 acres there on the multimodal site, and
Sure.
then we own a 39.68 acre site, which is just north of the sewage ponds on the south side of the railroad tracks. So obviously they're hunting they're hunting on that 76 acres, but it's wide open, like,
Right,
and
and,
it's residential just to the north.
but
Right. I mean, so I mean, if it,
a straight bullet not
It's-
through my window.
I mean, it's not, there's no way, and you're shooting, the thing is you're shooting at the railroad tracks, which, by the way, is a federal offense. I'm just throwing that out there. And then you're shooting at Boise property if you're shooting, you're shooting at Boise property if you're shooting east-west, and you're shooting at CN property if you're shooting to the south, and you're shooting at private property if you're shooting to the north. So, but it's a federal offense to shoot towards the south. You cannot shoot towards the railroad tracks. It's federal offense. So I own property that borders the railroad tracks, and they like to remind us that we can't hunt it. So it should be posted.
Post it all.
and that's what we're at, I think posting what's in the city limits is within
But it's
doing what's
hard.
right, because we can hunt in the city limits.
Right.
Just the question is asking this commission if they want to say, you don't want hunting on your property that's not within the city limits, and then we'll post the whole thing.
I move we post the whole thing.
Yeah.
I would
think-
agree.
I think no hunting is no hunting. I mean, it's.
No hunting on it.
Okay, so we have a motion by you, Walt,
Yes.
to post the whole piece of property. Second,
second.
Joel. We have a second. Any more discussion?
May I add, obviously, Conservation Officer Kittleson is keeping an eye on it, which would lead me to believe that if somebody's caught hunting on it, he is going to cite them. And I would assume that, and that's actually not CN, that's MDW that owns that line. So I'm going to go ahead and bet that they're keeping an eye on it too. So I'm going to bet that they're the ones that are probably calling.
Once it's posted legally.
Once it's posted legally, I'm going to assume that they're contacting the conservation officer. So.
And it's, the reason bringing it here is to make you aware of it, because there are people that are probably going to call and complain because they've been doing it forever.
Sure.
And it not being in the city limits. That's, and
It's still not technically.
It's still our property, no matter what.
Right,
I got
but-
property that's.
I would say it's a liability. I mean, definitely
Besides,
a liability.
Yep.
It's just
Yep.
well, we've
straight
had this
bullet or.
conversation with Darren 2 or 3 years ago.
2 years now. Yep.
So I want to post it and put it to bed as long as you guys are okay with posting the property that's not within the city limits, which you're in your full rights to.
We gotta make sure it's posted legal so that he doesn't have any problems with.
Right.
If he does cite somebody for being on there, that they can't come back and say, well, it wasn't posted legally, so.
Well, we had a motion and we had a second and we had discussion. We'll put it to the vote.
Aye.
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 Motion passed 5-0.
Thank you.
Next is adjourning the meeting. Oh,
Actually, can I bring up one thing?
yeah.
If you look at the minutes of Monday, December 6th, which were respectfully prepared by Emma Rudd, under other business, Commissioner Drober requested that at the next regular EDA meeting agenda scheduled for January 18th, 2022, there will be a discussion about creating a policy for the use of EDA funds. It was agreed that this item would be placed on the next regular EDA agenda for discussion. With that being said, I really don't care if we have the discussion tonight. I just want to make sure that it is on the next agenda so we can move forward with
I
that.
don't remember seeing that had to be on the next meeting. Did it?
Yeah,
The minutes outline that we would
The
have it
minutes
at
outline
this
it?
meeting,
Okay.
and it's not on
Well,
there.
if I
brought
don't
up
see it,
to
if I
Emma.
don't see it on my
After-
They're
agenda,
gonna get brought up. so.
hey,
There's no-
ready? If I don't see it on my agenda,
There
Got
were no
it?
additions
Yeah.
or deletions on the start.
fair enough. We don't ask for that on this one, but if we could have that on the next agenda.
there
for
you
sure.
go. There you go.